Good afternoon. It is Wednesday. I want to go ahead and share that the topic of the day, folks, is what is the processing time when I become a U.S. citizen or about to become a U.S. citizen or when I can become a U.S. citizen. Um, okay, folks, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. Thanks for tuning in. I see some folks who are joining right now. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. I know your time is very valuable. But any way that we can help you, it may not necessarily be today, but in the future at least, give us a shout. Shoot us a DM, message on YouTube, Facebook. And in fact, we have a Facebook group. It's called tinglawclub.com. Join the club, folks. We're going to share more information there, point you in the right direction. We have free guides on our website, greencardguys.com. Answers to common questions, estimated step-by-step, estimated because, government can change so much for the better or worse. We all want to believe that under President Biden that it's for the better. Yes, to some extent, but for border issues, a little shaky, but I'd still say a lot better than Trump. Okay. I know we got a lot of complaints about that, but let's focus on how to solve your immigration case to get your case unstuck. And one of them today that we're going to talk about is what is the process time? When can I become a U.S. citizen? So, number one, the most common way is through marriage. Okay. So let's just talk about that one. When you get married, whether you are a conditional resident or permanent resident, so the 2-year card or the 10-year card, okay, folks, you can become a citizen or at least apply for it just roughly 3 years, 3 years with resident status. Again, with conditional status or permanent resident status. The key number is tres, okay? But there's two things you need to have at that time. You need to be still married to the person that sponsored you. No, it cannot be based on a different marriage to someone else, because if you are, and you need to be continue, you need to have continued your marriage until you become a U.S. citizen. And so when I say become a U.S. citizen, I mean take the oath, my friends. All right. So but let's say you do get married, but then you get divorced or separated. Yeah, I mean, people ask, can I still file based on the 3 years when separated? That's really up to you, folks. I mean, the application asks you questions about your marriage, and it does ask, are you currently married to this person, right? So even though you're separated, it doesn't have a question about that. Are you separated from that person? But you just never know. The USCIS officer could ask you this kind of question. Does a spouse have to show up to interview? No, they don't. So take that for what you will. That's just my 2 little cents. But in general, the law says if you are divorced from someone, from the person that sponsored you originally, you have to wait 5 years. Okay. Now, then you can apply for the N-400 application, the form, to become a U.S. citizen. So the 3-year rule versus the 5-year rule. It all boils down to who originally sponsored you. Now, if let's say your other family member, anyone who's not a spouse, the default rule is 5 years. Okay. Now, the caveat that some of y'all need to know is that if you have the 2-year conditional status, you basically kind of have to go through the process again. We call that removal of conditions. It's the form called 751. And it's probably one of the most annoying processes because before the pandemic, they would send a automatic extension receipt notice saying extended for 18 months. Or I think back then before pandemic was said extended for 12 months. But throughout the pandemic, it was at least 18 months and then now 24 months. So what does that mean? Why are they giving you automatic extension? Because they're freaking slow. Ridiculously slow, folks. So, and I don't know why, because for the first stage and, the other milestones in your legal status, it doesn't necessarily take that long. Sure, there are flukes like Baltimore, 4E5 application. Baltimore is taking like 49 months to get your green card. Ridiculous. Okay. It's taking too long. And so long, such a long time that, in fact, Congressman Steny Hoyer, along with other folks in the House, wrote a letter to USCIS or Baltimore field office, said, "What the hell's going on? Get your act together." Of course, I don't know if that letter is going to work for y'all folks that filed in Baltimore, but at least there's attention to that issue, okay, and processing times. Now, the other thing you need to know is that you don't necessarily have to, let's say you are eligible to file based on a 3-year or even the 5-year. You don't have to wait all 3 years or all 5 years. You can actually file it 3 months before that mark. Okay, so 90 days before. And don't know the policy reason why they have that, but I kind of think it honestly complicates everyone, especially immigration USCIS officers, because I've had at least one time the officer was like, "Oh no, you're not able to file that early." I was like, "Yeah, you are. The policy manual says that. Let me pull it up right here, buddy." So, anyways, yeah, sometimes, and so that's actually, last week I talked about reasons you may want to consider a lawyer, and so some of y'all think that, and it's understandable, some of y'all think it's only filing forms. A lot of our service is really after filing the forms. We'll help you with that, of course. That's part of our process, our service, but a lot of it is after filing because a lot of stuff happens, for better or worse. Government policies could change. Just in general, keeping you updated. You have stuff going on. You got to focus on your family, focus on work. We get it. I got 2 little kids. This is my bread and butter, immigration law. Sure, there's still a couple cases. Someone asked me the other day if I help with civil cases or other cases from time to time, especially when people are screwed over. We take action and we co-counsel, or normally it's normally other law firms that want us to co-counsel because they know that we focus on some very limited civil cases. But here's the deal. This is why people trust us. We take action. We're not slow, okay? And of course, you've got to pay for that action, okay? We have 3 membership plans. Max, file in for 30 days if it's family-based. If it's employment case, investor case, it's 45 days. And yes, there are times we could file a little sooner, but it depends on capacity. Pro plan, the second one in the middle, is we file in less than 60 days. So, and light plan is different. That's like 90 days. But anyway, my point is, folks, I talk to a lot of immigration lawyers. We chit chat, share tips about business. I don't know anyone else offering these plans that you will know intentionally when your case, your form, your package will be mailed or filed to USCIS or any other government agency. I think it's kind of crazy. So you should ask that question. We're here to share information on that because a lot of y'all want, we get a lot of calls about people complaining. I get it. It's cool. We're happy to understand that. In fact, I take that as a benefit to us so that we can learn how to be better and not be like those other law firms. But the key thing that I tend to, if I could compartmentalize, classify everything, all these complaints about other lawyers, law firms, that it's communication. It all boils down to communication. It sounds kind of like a marriage, actually. Communication is so important, regardless of what, relationship, professional relationship, attorney-client, marriage, children, with parent-child. There's so much that I'm trying to learn. I'm not perfect, but just want to let you know we're trying. Okay, folks. I see a question here. Hey, Francis. An NVC approved your spousal visa documents. Okay, that's great. So they will contact the embassy in your country to schedule an interview for you. Your question is, what are the documents you need for the interview? It's actually not as many documents as you may think you need. I always suggest clients to bring a folder. Okay, left side will be certain documents, and the other side of the folder will be another set of documents. So If it's a spouse case, like, you have a joint bank accounts, things like that, but you might not have joint bank account. You might like activity statements. I mean, um, but it's the affidavit of sponsor for your financial information of your sponsor. So if it's a spouse case, then your spouse is a W-2, your spouse most recent W-2. So it's the January 2023 now. Happy New Year, folks. January 2023. So maybe by now she received her W-2 for her work. And if she's not having taxes withheld, then it's independent contractor. We call it in the US, then it'd be a 1099 form. Pay stubs, most recent pay stubs, the last 3 months. And yeah, but surprisingly, you don't actually have to provide that many documents. Differently, it's different than if you were in the US and you file the 485 application. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I mean, there's a lot more I could share, but that's the main key thing right there. Let's see here. And of course, you have to, Francis, you have to get your medical exam completed before then. So at least a week before, if you can do it. But yeah, from what I understand, for most consulates, if not all, you have to have the interview date scheduled before you can get the medical exam and take your biometrics. Okay, and that's because they don't want, I don't want to say flood, but they don't want too many people getting all that done in those offices too early, because they expire after a certain amount of time, which I believe is 6 months. Let's see here. I see some more comments, but one more thing about like similar to Francis' situation, the medical exam. Okay, that there's been some things going on that, especially if you've gone back, whether you had a DWI, drinking and driving, or alcohol type offense, you gotta be careful. Okay, you gotta be careful what you say. It might be better. Not saying a lawyer can prevent a situation for you in this kind of scenario, but yeah, you might want to be careful because they're using any past drinking type offense against you. So, and when you have your medical exam, because you may think, oh, medical exam is just like going to a regular doctor, but there is a health ground in admissibility where they could use this disorder behavior against you of drinking. Like drinking a beer or alcohol I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor like that, but I think your gut feeling is probably thinking that drinking a beer or whatever does not mean I have a disorder or some kind of behavioral problem. So anyway, they're quick to judge, and unfortunately, being quick to judge in that sense is affecting some people from being able to get your visa abroad. And it's very frustrating because if you had to apply for a waiver, they're going to revoke it. The waiver 601A, for example. And so you got to be careful what you say. I'm not telling you to lie. You should tell the truth. But yeah, if you have questions about that, how to maneuver that, strategize with that, let me know in the comments or send a DM. If there's a lot of requests for it, we'll maybe set up a webinar, because this is a serious problem. And that's why I'm sharing this live. And not many people are talking about this because, by the time this happens to you, a lot of people are frustrated and it already happened. So like, some people might think, what's the point of sharing? So that's one reason we have these live shows, to share this situation that's not necessarily on the internet, which reminds me, I need to probably do that. Man, I'm looking really, really light right now. Okay, at least on the YouTube screen. Let's see, other questions. Happy to answer any questions. Appreciate the hearts. Yeah, if you enjoy the way we share content or the information, do me a favor, smash the hearts or the like button on Facebook or YouTube. And if you happen to know someone else that is going through an immigration case or about to, and you care for them enough to where you don't want them to go through any kind of problem or hiccups, mistakes, please bookmark a video and share it with them later on. It means the world to us, because apparently doing those kind of things can help spread our video elsewhere to other folks. Okay. Let's see. I see a question from on YouTube from Eunice. Hello. You ask, any hope for dreamers? Any hope for dreamers? Well, here's the deal, folks. Republican Senator John Cornyn, I was trying to remember his first name. He said about 1 or 2 years ago that he cared about dreamers. I can pull it up for you. Let's see if he really cares. Let me do a little quick search here for you guys, and I can share this on YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, folks on Instagram. I'm not able to. They don't let me do that for some reason. But let me see if I can do this immediately. What I'm doing, I like to share my screen and show you what I do so that you can do it on your own. Okay, so I'm at congress.gov. We're in the new Congress this session. This is 2023. I go to current Congress. Let's see if this pops up. Let me go to more options. 2023. Co-sponsor. Let me click on co-sponsor. Let me click on Cornyn. I don't think they'll let me pick two people. Otherwise, I'll click our buddy Ted Cruz here in Texas. Let me type in some keywords. Okay, let me type in dreamers. See if his name pops up. Negative, nothing. He doesn't care about dreamers. Nothing comes up with his name. But, let me give Ted Cruz a chance, okay? Let me give that buddy a chance, see if he's got anything going for dreamers or immigration. Okay. Let me click on search. Okay, let me see if there's any proposals by him. Nope, negative, nothing. Okay, but let's just see if there's anyone else. Just anyone in general. Okay, let me see if I can take his name off. Reset the form. Okay, let me just click on this year. Dreamers. If the dreamer word doesn't work, then I'll try just immigration in general. So nothing specific to dreamers. Okay. Let me type in DACA. I'm going to type in DACA. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. In the meantime, if you're wondering how to get in touch with us, okay, folks. Last week, the form on our website was a little wonky. I think it's working now. It should be. But if it's not, please let us know. Text us. Okay, so here is, but yeah, you go to greencardguys.com and click on take a quiz. If you want to unlock those free 15 minutes, folks, with one of our premier attorneys, it's not going to be with me. Going to be honest with you right there. I know I've been told by Ariana and Terry that they're like, oh, they expected you. It's not going to be with me. I have very limited time, especially with two little kids, a 4-year-old and an 18-month-old. If you got parents, if you are parents, if you are a parent, let me know in the comments. We can always share tips about that. Oh my goodness, so much to know. So much to learn. Let's see about parenting. Let's see. So on YouTube and Facebook, which by the way, if you want to switch over there, if you're on Instagram, it's greencardguys.tv. It'll take you straight there. But I'm sharing on here for this session. This is January, so it's been a couple weeks into the session. For legislation purposes, the thing is when I type in immigration, it's going to include people who are Republicans, okay? But nothing popped up when I just put Dreamers or DACA. And I get alerts about this pretty much every day. If there's something new, if there's any progress, but kind of give you an idea of what these Republicans are, these lovely Republican conservative folks here. And not to say that immigrants or foreign nationals, should not be conservative. It's just the current situation with the political party. Yeah, they're really anti-immigration. Okay, so the first one that pops up is to amend the INA, which is INA is the Immigration and Nationality Act, to saying something about aliens associated with criminal gangs. So probably not a good thing. to add membership in a significant transnational criminal organization to the list of grounds of inadmissibility, to prohibit the provision of material support or resources to such organizations. Why? There's already a ground of inadmissibility that would cover that kind of situation. Basically, they're trying to say terrorist. Okay, so kind of unnecessary. Let's see, to make mandatory and permanent requirements related to use of electronic employment eligibility, basically, aka e-verify. And they're saying any if you're undocumented or whether you have legal status, permanent resident, or a work permit through TPS or deferred action or DACA, you have to go through e-verify. Okay, so this is just a proposal, but I'm just saying in the event of pretty much every year there's very similar bills. Bills are proposals. Bills are not laws. They have to pass the Senate and House. I was trying to say that at the same time, and also when they all agree, not all, but the majority, then it goes to the president's desk, which actually there's some laws that passed, but we just don't hear about it that often. One that should be concerning to a lot of people is they call it State Immigration Enforcement Act. I won't cover it in full right now, but I kind of have a feeling what they're trying to say in terms of State Immigration Enforcement Act, probably to give resources to the state level from the federal government to enforce the immigration laws. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? Because all the Republicans are always saying, especially the state governors, Greg Abbott in Texas, saying, hey, federal government, you got to take action. But hey, by the way, can you give me some money so I can take care of it myself? So kind of interesting. Yeah, and that was sponsored by Republican Representative Andy Biggs. Anyway, I don't want to go through all of these. I'll just give you an example. Okay, I love this stuff. So let me just give you another example. But like Sheila Jackson Lee in Houston, representative, the Grace Act is what she calls it. Let me click on it. But the main thing here I like to show folks is that right next to co-sponsors, :0. I mean, if you want, I don't know, I'm not a politician, but if I want people to take this seriously, I need to get co-sponsors. Okay, I need to get people on board, even if they're the same party and not from the other party, at the minimum. Okay, I see some more questions. So I will answer those. This stuff just kind of riles me up. But anytime y'all ask me about reform, or I just like to share it. So anyways, that is on congress.gov. You can set up I don't want to call it red alert, but a symbol. No, what am I saying? Symbol. You can, like a reminder, you can get an email anytime they mention certain keywords. It doesn't have to be immigration. If you care about the environment, anything like that, you could probably do it on a state level too on your respective state's website. So check that out. Okay, I see some questions on YouTube. Makan, I recognize your name. Welcome back. You have a motion to reopen with the BIA, which is Board of Immigration Appeals. That is one level above the immigration court, the appellate court. And now your EOIR case status changed from judge order removal to cases pending. That's a good sign. That's a good sign, Makan. Let me see if you have a follow-up comment. I don't see your actual question, but maybe you can follow up with your question. But yeah, that's a good sign. Sometimes they might not be specific, like the BIA reopened it or whatnot. But if they said pending, then there could be an indication that it's been reopened. So especially if it's been a long time. BIA is very, very slow. So I'll give you other examples of how the government's slow. Malik, what's up? Nice to see you. Tejas, nice to see you. Abby, USCIS just sent your fiance passport back, but no response yet on your case. I think you mean where are you at, Abby, on this case? Is it did your fiance just have the fiance visa interview? Because the passport, USCIS. Oh, okay, you didn't have the interview. USCIS sent your passport back. Well, thank goodness, because you're not supposed to send the passport with the petition package. So thank goodness they sent it back. So that's a hot tip right here, folks. You guys are asking me for tips, so thank you. I'm happy to share. When you file your application or package, when you mail it in, always send a copy. Okay, always. Do not send any originals, even your marriage certificate, your divorce certificate, your divorce order. Only the visa, only a photocopy. And please also do this. Make a scanned copy of everything you send. Believe it or not, long time ago, fortunately it hasn't happened. It only happened to me one time. I think in my first year of practice, scanned it, mailed it out, and then packaged this for adjustment status, AOS, enter the visa, and had a copy of the visa. And we received the RFE, request for evidence, saying they need a copy of the visa. I'm like, proof of entry. I'm like, we gave it to you. What the heck is going on? But of course, to make me feel better and my team, that's why it's on our checklist of things to do, to scan a copy. So even if you don't hire a lawyer, it's cool. Everyone's budget is different. Everyone's comfort level is different. It's hard to find a lawyer that you are comfortable with in the first place. I get it. But please do yourself a favor. Follow our channel and get tips, okay? Follow these tips, make a scanned copy. When you mail it, use tracking, okay? Insurance, I don't know about this, like monetary insurance. I don't think that matters because it's just paper, but tracking number. You need to have a tracking number, okay? That is one way to verify that USCIS received the package. Which, by the way, folks, I'm doing this. I'm thinking touchdown. Who's a Dallas Cowboys fan? Who is that? Do you watch football? Let me know in the comments if you watch football, which team you're rooting for in the playoffs to the Super Bowl. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I'm going for the Cowboys, but if you are a Cowboys fan or you're familiar with the Cowboys, they kind of let us down ever since 1995. It's been what, 2023 now? It's been a long time, folks. It's been basically 3 decades. We're very sad, but we got to share the love. And that's what we're doing on these channels, okay? I see some comments on Instagram. Let me answer one more on the Chiefs. Oh, man, those State Farm commercials. Not sponsored by State Farm, but yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay, Malik, what's going on? Let's see. Makana, if you do have more information that you want to share, please drop in the comments. For individual hearing, or maybe talk about yourself in general. You overstayed here almost 13 years after a visitor visa. What's the best waiver? If his or her parent is permanent resident, I never knew that asylum could have been applied, but too late. You also say in your second comment, you also learned that cancellation removal could be applied through immediate relative. Sir, but you need to get waiver first. Okay. And you know that marriage could also help to get a status, but that's not happening as of yet. Yeah, you have to find the right match. It's difficult, so you don't always have to depend on marriage. And that's why we're here. I know there's some lawyers that really focus on sharing tips about marriage, and that's cool. But we're here to share outside the box thinking, outside of marriage. Okay. So we're with you. We're on the same page. You've also asked who's eligible for national interest waiver. I mentioned that in a previous video. Yeah, I'll have to share a different video about that. It's pretty high legal standard, but I'm thinking about, because a lot of y'all have asked about it in the DMs in our series, a little bit more exclusive for y'all folks that really are trying to think outside the box for a different strategy other than marriage. So if y'all interested, I'm going to ask my marketing team to post a invite in our community tab on YouTube, at least. I'll see. I don't know if there's a way to do that on Instagram. Man, this Instagram thing is not as easy as I thought to do something like that. Share information. But yeah, let me answer, I guess, the first question. Okay, so basically, Malik, there's to share the step by step here, folks. Okay, Malik has just shared that he has a parent, or maybe not him, but someone else he knows, a parent who is a resident. Um, and a person has overstayed their visa, and that could be that could be okay if and get the and file 485 because this classification, we call it, is a family preference. That means that you cannot file a 485. Okay, and a parent can file for you, but the foreign national immigrant has to be under 21 for it to be immediate relative. So at this point, this is, I'm assuming this individual is over 21 and let's just say not married. Then it's the F2B category because the parent is a resident. Now, the first step is to file a petition. That is to establish the family relationship. Okay, so sorry if my connection's a little bad. So yeah, first step is file a petition, and then the next thing is wait for that petition to be approved. But while that petition is about to be approved, or maybe not about to be, it does unfortunately take a while. But after that, you would need to prepare or file a waiver application, the 601 application. Now, this is also assuming that you are in the United States, that the foreign national immigrant is in America, and that what that 601A waiver application covers is that it covers unlawful presence. So even though you entered America with a visa, you overstayed your visa. So when you overstay and you have at least 1 year more of no status in America, and then if you were to leave the United States, which I don't recommend you to leave unless you have a waiver approved, of course, that that would be on 8.5 by 11 paper. So you know about it. Your attorney would tell you about it if you have an attorney. At least I hope so. So, anyways, you need timing wise that you cannot file. You're legally not allowed to file the waiver application until after the petition is approved. But preparing for the waiver application, the letter is talking about hardship. Maybe you're suffering some kind of your qualifying relative is what we call it. Your parent who's a resident or U.S. citizen could be suffering something right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I think there's a lot. Here's a hot tip: to be able to file the 601A waiver, your parent or your spouse who has status does not have to be sick. Believe it or not, I would say 99% of our waiver cases does not have any family member sick. Okay. So that's part of our strategy, is to help you prepare those waiver letters. We don't write the letter for you. We help provide suggestions on how to make it better. We're not allowed to write the letter. So there may be some confusion with some folks. If you have a lawyer, we pretty much like elbow you. Okay. Sorry if I touched the mic there on the instinct. So we really encourage you to get it going, because you don't have to wait to prepare the waiver application and all those evidence after your petition is approved, because the petition, when it's family preference, takes a long time. They're slow, and they do it on purpose. Okay, for better or worse. The better scenario is if you're the foreign national, got sponsored, or in the process of sponsorship, being sponsored, but you have children, then your children are called derivatives. So people contact us on a weekly basis about this concern. We call it CSPA. The longer that the petition's processing pending is actually a benefit to your derivative. So don't get too frustrated. Hopefully you're, but in the meantime, don't delay preparing for your waiver. Okay. When I say prepare, I mean, preparing your story. Okay. Your truthful story. You're not giving any lies, but has to be true. How does the government verify it? They don't at least I'm not aware of this, but that USCIS officers will go to your house and just like interview people in that sense. They just don't have the capacity to do that. But at the same time, when you ask other people, friends and family, to write letters for you to support your application, what our team does is that we go in there, open up those freaking letters, those Word documents, PDFs, and cross-reference information. Believe it or not, people have the wrong information on there. Just this, the simple stuff like, oh yeah, we asked your friend or family to write in, like, you don't have to put the exact date of marriage, but to share how you know the couple, right? For example, or share about how often you meet up, how often you hang out, share any troubles, challenges. Not saying like troubles like your marriage or your marriage, but just to establish that you have credibility with with you. Okay, has knowledge about your situation. All right, so you got to get it done. All right, so yeah. Anyway, some people write the wrong information. More so like when you met, like they got that wrong, and it's cool. It's understandable because we don't see, you might not have seen your friends as often as before the pandemic, so that's understandable. They don't have like a full history chart like a doctor or something, I suppose, in front of them. So we double check that kind of stuff. I'm sure the lawyers do a good job of that. But yeah, I just want to share that is part of our process. Okay. Let's see. Maliki also said that, does our firm handle these cases? We do. We do help with waiver applications for sure. So first is petition through parent, then the waiver. Yes, you have to file the petition first. There is another waiver, but that's not for your situation or Malik, whoever you're talking about. That individual has to be in the U.S. to file the 601A application with other evidence, of course. But filing out that waiver application is after the petition is approved. So it can be a bit annoying in that sense, that thinking that, oh, you prepared everything, but then you can't file it yet. I would still prepare it, so at least you're mentally prepared, because all these different steps, these milestones take a long freaking time with the government. It's so annoying. Okay, so you got to take this is part of our service. We get our clients ready for the next step before the next step happens. Okay, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't watch NASCAR, but I'm sure if you have an idea that these racing cars need gas or they need repairs, so they do a pit stop. All right, so we have designated pit stops with our law firm. We call it milestones. All right, so but before you get to that pit stop, your team has to be ready with the tire. Our team is ready with the tire, the tools, just standing by. Okay. We send you emails before things happen. I mean, we're not perfect. We can't cover 100% of cases to be perfect in that sense, but we try our best. To be honest, we have some things automated so we can get you that information sooner, much sooner than a human could, honestly. But we track everything. Okay. So anyways, hopefully that helps. How long is the process, Malik? The petitions, of course, everything kind of depends on the processing service center. And unfortunately, the service where your case gets mailed to is just like it's kind of like the rendezvous point. Okay, the first rendezvous point. And then that case file goes to a service center. Okay, and we don't get to pick the service center. So every time we share online, let me see if I can do that here. What can I type in here? USCIS. I meant to do this earlier. Let me add to the stream. But anyway, after the petition approved, which for family preference, it could take at least 2 years, 24 months minimum. And then I'm trying to, on YouTube, I'm trying to go on Facebook, going processing times right now. But the waiver, okay, right now, the waiver applications they're saying 80% of cases are taking about at least 36 months. That's 3 years. And that is after you file the waiver application, the package. That is not including the time that your petition has been on file. Why does that matter? For family preference, okay, thank you so much, Malik, for asking these questions. Uh, why does that matter for you if you have to file a waiver? Okay. This matters because when your visa bulletin shows up or your prior date shows up as basically ready, I do have a video on our YouTube channel in the past. I need to record another one, but the past meaning like last year at least, a video about that explaining the visa bulletin. It's a lot of information, so I'm not going to go through it right now. But anyway, if your visa prior date shows ready essentially on the visa bulletin, but your waiver has not been filed, there might be a possibility you need to restart the whole process. Okay, because the waiver process right now, post pandemic, is taking 36 months. But there is a solution. Okay, on average, if it's after 12 months, at least 12 months for the waiver application, we sue the government. We sue USCIS because we know that before the pandemic, they took about average 8 months. And we get it. They're always going to give a freaking excuse about, oh, we don't have enough workers. We don't have enough freaking money to process your cases. We don't care. There's several immigration lawyers I know that help with these mandamus lawsuits. This has worked. Is it perfect for everyone? No, it's not. That's why we have a consultation with you, especially for mandamus cases, to verify the information before we both agree to sue the government. But I'm here to share with you there is an option, because if you don't sue the government, and we already know, I'm already sharing with you the facts. The facts are that USCIS is taking a long freaking time to take your case to the next level. And it's not just USCIS, it's the other government agency, Department of State, the consulates, embassies. They're messing with you. You guys deserve legal status. You need to take action. So you know all the information. You can see my other videos talking about these situations. We do have success stories, fortunately, thank goodness. Even for folks who been waiting for asylum interview. We filed a lawsuit in, for example, November, and we just got 1 or 2 weeks ago, we just received the interview notice, and that's going to be in March this year. And this person waited about at least 4 years. Okay, he's actually usually on these lives. So, but yeah, it's a similar story. We can't promise that for everyone. Back to you, Malik, and I'm going to answer a couple more questions from Instagram and then hop off for the next meeting. So yeah, I usually have a team meeting at 1:00 Central Time. So just want to share, I am involved. I might not be handling your consultation as a default person, but if you do want more time with me or just meet with me in general, it's my pleasure to assist you. But my team, my associate attorneys, Terry and Ariana, are, if not equally qualified, they might be even smarter than me. Okay. And they might have more information than I could share. Believe it or not, I like to put team members around me that are smarter than me. So don't think that you have to speak with me, but we do offer time. If you do want to speak with me, again, it's my pleasure, but you have to pay for it. I think my team put it at $199. They're really focused on my mental health, and it's very nice because yeah, there was a time where I just couldn't handle all the calls or consultations, but I greatly appreciate it. Malik, back to you real quick. You asked what is a petition called? Is the I-130 petition if it's family based. Okay. You're welcome. Happy to answer your questions to my best of my ability. And I apologize. I meant to share the link so that y'all could join the studio. Today's Wednesday, so I'll do that. I won't be able to do that tomorrow, but I'll try to find a time tomorrow. I'm going to a conference tomorrow. I'll meet with other attorneys that focus on the business of the practice, and we're going to share tips with each other. So I'll see if I can find time to go live, hopefully. But Instagram, okay, then I have to hop off. Do I have any tips for filing I-40? Jeremy, I'm not sure if you're still live here, but maybe you mean the I-140 based on like employment type case. But yeah, send me a DM or something because I need clarification on that. Francis, you asked, did I ask a question because you lost some seconds? Sorry, my Instagram, my phone was losing signal for a second for some reason, even though it shows all bars. Let me go back to your original question. I don't think so. I don't think I asked you a question, but hopefully you heard what I shared. Let's see. Great info. Happy to share champion. Let's see. What's up? What's up, Lati? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining the team. AB, you asked the passport question on your Facebook account. Oh, that's okay. AB, thanks for joining us on Facebook. Yeah, I'm glad you received your passport back. My goodness. Glad you got it back. Okay. MJ, you asked your I-130 was folded by your team in September and went to Nebraska Center 10.5 months. Okay. I don't know what you mean by folded. I think you mean filed. Maybe you're talking to your phone. I know my phone's not perfect. What do you call it? Speech to text? It's not always perfect. The phone captures some words that you did not intend to say. But this one's, of course, innocent one. I think you mean, filed your team filed the petition in September. So it's January now. So yeah, it's only been like 5 months or so. So you got to probably wait another 5 months. Okay, MJ, good luck to you on that one. But hopefully your legal team is ready for you in case you need to respond to request for evidence. Hopefully you don't even have to do that. Okay. Okay, Jeremy, set any tips on filing I-140? There's a lot more tips on that, but yeah, send us. I need to write these down for webinar ideas. So because I know not everyone cares for that kind of information. So yeah, send us a DM and we'll send you invitation. Our marketing team is going to come up with an invitation link. And let's see here. I-140 tips. Okay, so it'll be like a webinar series for free, or but if it's if you're looking for way more detailed type information, then we might consider doing like a paid course like that, paid class. But maybe the free tips might be enough. So we'll see. Okay, MJ, you said you filed for your wife through our team. Okay, I haven't recognized your your Instagram name. Okay, you filed, went to Nebraska, showed 10.5. Yeah, let me pull that up right now. It's so nice to actually see clients on our social media channels. It's pretty cool because I love to give y'all the real time information. Which, by the way, MJ, or I think I saw Abraham's name earlier. And yeah, Lati, Latoya, if you didn't know this already, you're welcome to self-schedule appointment with our team. We have a support page that's new. We just started it this month, a couple weeks ago. You don't even have to call in. You don't have to text us to schedule an appointment. And you can basically, those self-scheduled appointments means that one of our attorneys or myself will be available for you. Okay. Typically it's Tuesday and Thursday, to be honest. But of course, if there's a time that is not available or not conducive for you, that's like a schedule conflict, email us. We try our best to find a different time. Okay. So we have a team of lawyers. So it doesn't have to be just me or your primary attorney working on your case. We all work together. We share. We have a system. We use technology to share information about your case with our team. So anyway, file a petition. Back to MJ. Okay, Nebraska. Okay, MJ, you're on Instagram, but I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, it does say 10.5 months in Nebraska. Okay, so yeah, okay. That's not too bad. Before the pandemic, it was about 8 months. So so that's good in that sense. Let's see here. I know there's another service center that was taking freaking forever. So hopefully you're not in that one. But right now, I have one more to click on. But right now, all of them say 10.5 months. Oh, okay. Oh, except California Service Center. Oh, there was just a bit of a glitch. I don't know if y'all caught that. I don't know. Did y'all see that on Facebook and YouTube? I hope you did. I hope it wasn't just me. Okay, folks on Instagram, you couldn't see this, but just today at least, hopefully it doesn't happen for you, but I was clicking, just prepping for the live show, clicking these different service centers, field offices, and it had like this red thing pop up. Like, you could definitely tell it was a glitch or something, or it's like the website was thinking to spit out these processing times. I mean, I don't know how they figured this 80% of cases processing time. I'm sure it's not 100% perfect, but it gives a decent idea of the processing times. But anyway, California Service Center, I clicked on that one and it showed like that red marks and just like weird computer code language. And the other service center said 10 and a half, so it was trying to change it. But for a second, I saw 16 months. And now it shows 11 and a half. So which one's the real number? I don't know. But it seems like every other day we check our team. If it's not me, it's someone on my team checking. Like literally almost every day it's changing. So here's the point, folks. Don't give yourself a hard time. Don't stress about it. Just know the government is slow in general. So if you're a client of ours and you're like, well, John, it's 10 and a half months. You guys haven't sent me anything. We apologize. We're trying our best. Ask us. Okay. We're going to give that info as soon as possible. We're trying to make things more streamlined to help y'all. But please work with us. We know we're not perfect. We strive to be better and better every day. That's why I have team meetings every day. I hope my team doesn't hate me. But if you work for someone else, you probably don't like long meetings. But I try to tell my team we have 15 minutes meeting every day, at least, just to touch base, see how we can help folks. What's the new trend of questions, basically. Okay, so yeah, anyway, California Service Center says 11 and a half months. But yeah, for a second, literally a second, it said 16 months. So here's the deal. This is what I'm trying to, number two things to take away from this. Don't stress yourself out. And number two, the action plan. If any of your case types or applications take a long time, number one, you know who to call. It's us with this phone numbers in the description box. Our website, you can take a quiz to pre-qualify for a free 15-minute consultation. Go to greencardguys.com. And number two, you know what the action plan is. If your case is taking too long, most likely the remedy here, the medicine here is a lawsuit against USCIS or the related government agencies. Okay? Because some of y'all have waited way too long, years, and it's all that, like, the plan is there. The thing is that you just need to know about it. But now that you guys know, you have to be ready. Okay. I'm sorry that you have to even do this extra step, but there's so many other reasons why you might need to take this step, but I'll share that in a different episode. I got to run to my team meeting. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best. Okay. Today is Wednesday. I have a conference for the next 2 days. So I'll stay tuned. I'll try to find a time that works with the schedule. Okay. Have a great day. Take care now.